Every October since 2011, Retro Movie Geek has brought you the spooky side of retro movies. And this year is no different. But remember, we spoiled the hell out of every movie we cover. So consider yourself forewarned. Spooky Flix Fest starts now.
Yeah, welcome. This is technically Mom Putt Video Shop, but I'm still going to do the obnoxious, part of course, Retro Movie Geek thing. I am your humble host, Gilman Joel, and I'm joined, as always when we do Spooky Flix Fest, Pumpkinhead Peter, who is apparently moonlighting as a furry. Is that what we determined?
No, these are devil horns with little fluffy things.
Sorry.
I'm scary, but not.
He's Timu Hellboy.
Yeah.
Good one.
I'm gonna use that.
And,
Hashtag Timo.
Yes. And really, you changed it like 8 times, man. The Nubian,
a girl makes changes.
The Nubian spook.
Oh, I didn't even see that. The Nubian spook. Nice.
I'm from
There's so much wrong with the Nubian and spook.
Yeah, there's so many levels to that.
The ghost from Wakanda.
For all I know at this point, that's actually a politically correct phrase to use. I have no effing idea what's going on. And we are joined in this first episode, who I'm sure he's so glad to help us kick off Spooky Flix Fest. The one, the only, the rampaging Rick himself, Rick Patterson. Welcome, Rick.
Hello, gentlemen, once more.
Yes.
Hello.
And this is overdue, man, because we talked about what we're going to talk about today. We talked about, that was on a list that you gave me in like 2022.
Yeah.
Like the end of 2022.
But Joel knew about this.
So here's the thing.
Years in advance.
I'm going to tell you, everybody, right now, I'm about to throw Rick heavily into the bus.
Oh.
He is heavily responsible for why this year is Techno-Horror, because I wanted to make sure we did Shocker, which everyone who's clicked on this knows is we're covering. Yes. We're covering Shocker. Yes, I own 2 copies of this movie for some reason.
Of course you do.
One DVD, one
I see
Blu-ray.
nothing wrong with that.
And
I have 3 copies of some movies.
I was like, you know what, we got to do Shocker somehow. I was like, well, we haven't done like regular Retro Movie Geek in a while, and it's like, well, maybe we could all get together. And I was like, nah, we'll do it for Spooky Flix Fest, which means then I now have an excuse to cover many of the other movies we're covering.
Don't mention that.
We're trying to
we
surprise.
do it for the fest,
man. No, we mentioned it in the intro. We mentioned the other movies.
Yeah. But Daryl didn't listen to that.
Oh, that's right. Sure. Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to know.
That's right. Surprise. He wants to be surprised.
Yeah, I don't want to leave the show ahead of time.
Yeah, fair enough. So the movie we are covering is Shocker from 1989. And this is the moment where I've either put in a trailer or I've had to take it out because we got copyright hit. So we'll see how that goes.
You'll find out. You'll find out.
Maybe I'm going to do that. No, hold on, Peter. Before you do that, I'm going to do the same thing I do with the reviews that Tyson and I do. I'll put on the screen that little box. For some weird reason, that doesn't ever seem to get dinged. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Safety box.
Sure. Even though we don't see it, it is in fact playing probably in the middle of this screen right now.
Well, you always got to respect the box.
Yes.
That's true.
I think you should just tweet. You should start tweeting clips, like in Be Kind Rewind. Just recreate a moment from the trailer or whatever.
Great.
It's like we got Shocker, and then you got Daryl dressed in the orange suit and everything.
Yeah, like coming through my console TV at me.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I would love that.
Yeah, see the fuckers copyright that one. They can't do a copyright strike there, can they?
You can't stop me, Tubi.
We'll beat you with your own game, YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube.
Tubi. We're on Tubi now. Peter?
Yes.
Do you happen to have some sort of VHS? See, we actually see the back of the cover now.
That's why you need to watch it in video.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Let's see. I haven't even read this, so I don't know how correct it is. So that's fun.
It's all lies, but it's fun.
Master of Horror Wes Craven directs this exciting visual treat which introduces a diabolical mass murderer who harnesses electricity for unimagined killing powers. Oh my God! That was a long sentence. About to be electrocuted for a catalog... What? For a catalog of heinous crimes, the unrepentant Horace Pinker, played by Mitch Pileggi?
Yes, Pileggi, I think, right?
Yeah, Pileggi.
Transforms into a terrifying energy source. Only young athlete Jonathan Parker, played by Peter Berg, with an uncanny connection to Pinker through bizarre dreams, can fight the powerful demon. The two dive in and out of television programs, chasing each other from channel to channel through stunning scenes of disaster, game shows, and old reruns. A blend of dazzling special effects, jolting humor, and electrifying soundtrack. Shocker is an ironic tale of terror and madness in the video age.
You said dazzling?
Where's the irony come in?
Yes.
I'm confused on why is it ironic? That's where I'm...
Well,
Isn't it ironic?
Don't you think?
Don't
All right.
that is a good one.
We are ready to rock and roll. We are talking Shocker.
Yeah.
So, Rick, as our guest,
Notes.
being that you are the one who has beat the drum for these many years that we cover this motion picture, explain yourself. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
When did you first?
Wow.
Explain yourself. I'm already expecting a Night Riders episode. I'm starting to think this is going to be like
you don't
me,
know.
the only one cheerleading for.
You don't know that. You can't prove that.
Wait, no, because we haven't even recorded yet. So
no.
So, when did you first see Shocker?
I saw it in the theater actually in my first year.
Nice.
I think I was in my first year of high school, maybe.
Wow.
And yeah, I was hyped for it because I'd always been a fan of Wes Craven. And it was also very cool because Alive Films that produced it, they had just done a 2-picture deal with Carpenter. That's where he did They Live and Prince of Darkness. So now it was like Craven they approached, and he did this and People Under the Stairs back to back. And I just thought the trailer was cool. I like the idea of a new serial killer, body hopping kind of a thing. Even to know that became a whole sub genre unto itself, you know. And I just dug it. I dug the music. I dug Mitch Pileggi as Horace Pinker. It just fucking just entertained the shit out of me. I bought the soundtrack like the same day because I lived in Northern California. So we went to our record store in Berkeley, our hangout, and I bought it, and it was the old cassette. So you had all the lyrics and everything. And of course there was a song on the soundtrack called The Ballad of Horace Pinker. And it has like a rap moment where you hear Mitch Pileggi. It's a trip, man. It is so cool.
I love those because they're always so wonderfully cheeseball. I love them. I love
But
those.
it's so great because he's like, I'm gonna get inside you. I'm gonna smoke you. It's just so great. And it was like we were 89, but we were practically in the 90s already with these type of mashups of different artists on a soundtrack.
Yeah.
And so you had Iggy Pop and you had Dudes of Wrath and all these different people on the soundtrack. And I just really dug it. It's just a really fun, entertaining movie, even to know it gets a lot of shit from people, unfortunately.
Okay. All right.
Because I was listening to when the movie started, where you see the whole montage of him working on a TV and everything, and you hear the soundtrack. I was like, wait, that's Paul Stanley. So I had to pause the movie and I had to look up. Okay, that was the whole group with Tommy Lee on drums and Desmond Child and Jean Beauvoir was on it too somewhere. I think, and Paul Stanley. I was like, wait, what? So yeah, it's a.
I thought you were going to say, Peter, that whole opening was the opening to Nightmare on Elm Street because it had a very
this movie vibe. There's a lot of similarities to a lot.
100%. And we'll get at all that. I'm sure.
Let me just wait. We have to explain something because Rick said record store cassettes should be. Is this something we need to explain?
I feel like
to
anybody
people?
that is watching our old asses.
Well, yeah. We will remember what a record store was.
Yes.
We need to have the book that they gave away with the Dune VHS when it came out. Like Arrakis is that's Arrakis of my cassette. It was a medium. Okay.
And just as a side note, I know I've had a few comments on past videos about not making so many comments about being old. You may not want to watch any of these episodes with us because there's going to be a lot of that.
I know.
That is a constant refrain.
Well, we are old. I mean, accept it.
Old is a frame of mind, man.
Listen, I'm just waiting for the glorious moment where this beard turns completely white.
Yeah.
Because that's my goal.
Listen, my bad knees ain't a frame of mind. It's a reality. And it's fine. That's just what it is.
Peter?
Yes.
Fine. When did you first see Shocker?
Yesterday. Probably Probably when it. arrived on VHS over here somewhere. So I can't, somewhere in the 90s, I think, early 90s, it popped up over here. So that's.
Was it edited?
See, I mean, this was already edited in the US because it was cut down because to get a good rating because a lot of stuff was cut out. It was pretty long. It was pretty long. Yeah, and it's not a bloody movie because a lot of the gory stuff is taken out already. So I forgot to look it up, but I don't think a lot of it was taken out as far as I remember. It's been a while. Yeah. So, but somewhere early 90s is when we first rented this. Because again, it's seeing the trailer to this movie. It has everything that we wanted to see: a serial killer and a menacing-looking serial killer at that, and the whole soundtrack and the body hopping stuff and the electricity and all that. So, yeah, somewhere there. And between there, it's been a long while since.
So you haven't seen it since then?
No, I have, but it's been a while. I mean, it pops up. I need to watch this, and then I need to watch this, and then life happens, I suppose. So
yes,
Rick made it happen. So I'm really happy.
Ricky D.
Out of nowhere.
So our Nubian king. It's your name. It's your name. I'm even. All right. Question.
Yes.
Had you seen Shocker before?
I kind of have, maybe on cable. I feel like I only remember the scenes where they at the third act when they go through the TV. I remember that, but there's a lot I don't remember. Like, so I don't know if I was high when I watched it, or I was drunk when I watched it, or could have been high and drunk. I don't know, but it's like I only remember certain things because there's a nihilism in this movie with the kills. I didn't realize there were so many kills in this until I watched it again.
Yeah,
this time sober, like it was a lot of. I mean, 30 in the first act, there were 30 kills. I mean, that's
really?
A lot.
I wasn't counting.
Oh, I was.
They mentioned it. Yeah,
they announced it.
Oh, that's true. You were keeping a tally when they were announcing all the.
I couldn't help it
because he was like one of those. Was it on Criminal Minds? They talk about the family annihilators.
Yeah,
he was one of those.
I mean, to kill 30 kills, like in the first half hour of the movie, I think it's 30 kills.
Yes, most off camera, but that's a lot. Yeah.
Like, I mean,
the first half hour of the movie, basically, about 40 minutes almost, is plays like a regular slasher.
It's two different movies, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's a first movie where before he becomes a supernatural being, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just him murdering folks, right? And then he gets caught. And it's it's a different movie, when they're running through TVs and doing like electrocuting people, body jumping and all that. Like it's a totally new movie.
And I don't want to give anything away, but one half of this movie I really like. I wish there'd been more of that.
Oh boy.
And one half, I don't. First of all, all cards on the table. This is not going to be a Night Riders. I do not hate the movie, okay? But I will acknowledge something right up front. This is a C&D movie. Like, and Rick, if you don't want to admit it, that's fine. There's two sides to C&D. There's the person who can admit it, and there's the person who's like, no, this is a great movie. It is not. Look, I like all Wes Craven movies, even some of the worst ones. I like Hills Have Eyes too, for God's sake.
Right.
All right. So I will acknowledge this is not one of his stronger ones, and the fact that it's the one he did before one of my favorite ones, which is People Under the Stairs. That this is decidedly, I almost feel like he knew he owed them two movies and he really wanted to make People Under the Stairs. So like that one, he gave all of his I know he didn't make them at the same time, but I mean, it's almost like I feel like all of his creative energy really went to that movie because this movie, especially in the script department, it's got issues. Let's just be frank. It's got some woefully because there's things, but here's the thing, things that would be looked at as not great. Like there's some Day for Night stuff, which I know some people hate Day for Night. I actually kind of dig it because it looks so weird.
We grew up at those movies.
I know. I'd forgotten all of that imagery. And I thought it was interesting too, how much this movie was just him trying. I feel like maybe I have watched I have the Blu-ray, so it has the commentary. I was hoping to have enough time to watch it. So maybe he talks about this, but I feel like there was a pressure for him to create another Freddy Krueger, but not Freddy Krueger circa 1984 in the original Nightmare on Elm Street, more like Freddy Krueger starting in Dream Master, where he's got the quips and the one and everything is.
Well, there was pressure. You could tell there were pressure to repeat the formula, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what it tried to do.
Yeah.
Like with the kids disappearing in the beginning, but no real like context of why in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
There was stuff like that throughout the movie.
He was in his dream at that point, though. You realize that moment he was dreaming.
But we don't know. I mean, by the way it hits you when you don't realize.
Yeah, I like that. That
dream, and then it kind of goes through it. It's pretty much. Let me put it this way: if the technology had gotten better by then, and they were able to do some of the things like in the 2000s that they were able to do with the kind of dreamscape
CGI kind
world
of stuff.
CGI, I think it suffers because of when it was done. I think.
But you ready, Daryl? I'm going to push back a little bit because here's the thing: is Cheeseball is some of those effects and stuff where I actually find them endearing because they are so analog. You know what I mean? Like it feels very much of it time. Now there's some of them that were not good enough. But let's be honest: how much CGI? Like I rewatched Blade with the kids. I know that's 90s, but I love that movie still. Freaking snipe. But some of the effects in it are not.
But I'm talking more from the audience. I think there were people that. Like the slasher stuff in the beginning of the first act, that when they went to the CGI side, they were like, I don't like this. And then there were those that are like, I love Freddy Krueger, F you. And we're excited about the second act, who were like, I don't need all that shit in the first act. And it's like he tried to please two different suitors and couldn't please them. Either one. It's almost like they could. It feels like the first half of this movie could have been the first movie, and the second half could have been a whole sequel.
Tonally, there is.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah, Rick, where
I mean, the entire skeletal structure, of the entire film, the whole reason he did it, and you're very much right. There was an expectation of turning it into a franchise. Because he had been screwed over so badly by New Line Cinema. This is pre-New Nightmare. And to get Nightmare made, he basically signed everything away.
Yeah.
And Robert Shea, being a typical Hollywood producer, was like, oh, we're making some money, but you're not going to get any of it.
Right.
And this was his attempt to do that. And so I can see your point of view there about the story structure of it and that it maybe is lacking here and there. But I don't know. I think it's really interesting lore that he creates if they had been able to do other films.
Right.
The biggest drawback was, again, with this production deal that he made the movie for 10 million and it made 13, so it wasn't successful enough to do another movie.
Yeah.
Where Carpenter's two movies, Prince of Darkness was done for 3, They Live was done for like 4, and both those movies grossed between like 15 and 16 million.
Yeah.
So theirs was successful, his wasn't.
Yeah.
Right.
But I really think this was just his attempt to, one, tell another story, create a character that would hopefully turn into a franchise and hopefully profit from any pie, get his slice of the pie, if there's any pie to be had, if you will, at the end of the day. But I still think it's entertaining, though. I really think
it is.
I think there's a lot of elements there. The big difference between Craven and Romero when it comes to their commentary of social commentary they try to put in their movies is that unfortunately Craven sometimes is extremely heavy-handed. And I think the elements that he wants to bring into this film, they're just kind of right there out in front of you, kind of a thing. Right. Same thing with People Under the Stairs. It's obvious what he's getting at in that film. He doesn't kind of beat around the bush at all, because both People Under the Stairs and They Live are both about, disparaging of society and class. And They Live is a little more, classy about the way it does it. It keeps it down here. Right. And, there it's just flat out. I think he really wants to concentrate in Shocker in terms of how we see violence on television, how it's perceived by the media, how the media glorifies violence.
Right.
And those were themes he's always dealt with. Some of the imagery he crafted in The Last House on the Left was literally pulled from images of Vietnam at the time. So I think so even though he was trying to build a franchise and everything else, I think he was still trying to incorporate himself as a filmmaker. with everything else.
Right. I think that to that point, Rick, I think that I enjoyed this movie for what it is. And it's funny, it's one of those movies I hadn't seen in a long time. And my sense memory was that I loved it. Because I remember I really liked Pileggi as Horace Pinker. I thought he's legit. Like there's a scariness.
He's a good actor. I like him.
Yeah, and I think honestly, this would have probably gone a lot further had he not leaned in. And this is coming from me because I love me some goofy ass Freddy Krueger stuff. Right. But I think because he leaned in so heavy to that kind of vibe, like almost like honestly, when they're going through the TV channels and everything, which I liked.
There's a lot of comedy in this.
Well, I love conceptually the way they did all that, but it almost borderline at times felt to the level of like Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, like with the level of like goofiness, And I think had they kept it more like what Daryl was getting at, the fact that the opening of this movie is so dark in a way.
If they made that longer.
Yeah, or even carrying it into the supernatural. Like Freddy in that first damn movie is dark, man. It is not meant to be light. He is a child murderer. He is evil. He makes a couple quips, but it ain't funny. It's like
the first one is
yes, it's serious
movie. Yes.
And I feel like that if I had a criticism of the movie, besides the fact that I think the script is wildly there are holes in it that you could drive. And I normally, honestly, I'm not a person who is like a plot has to be I don't care. Like to be plot.
No, they shot it was a quick shoot too. So I mean, and again, like we talked a little bit about the effects. That's actually the one note I took down because I was in the movie. Because the guy who was supposed to do the special effects, as far as I read up on him, he kind of went in over his head.
Yeah, you can tell.
And didn't really work. He wasn't able to do this, so they had to scramble with what they had. And
they needed
I read here the special effects in this movie got kind of a bad rep for being shitty, and I suppose they're not super great. But to what Joel said before, they kind of fit the movie and they make it a fun watch.
I like the version. Horace, the way he looks once he's in full.
That kind of
ecstatic, the snow. I'm not gonna lie, I actually like that.
But I think
I was fine with it. Yeah.
I think that the third act is what hurt it. I think that if people when they come out of the movie theater, I think if he had pulled back just a little bit, because I liked the movie. I enjoyed the movie. But
I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually surprised. I thought for sure you were gonna hate it.
If he had pulled back a little bit, because it's so dark in the beginning.
Yeah, it is.
And I don't mean it in a dark way. I mean it in a good way where the kills matter and they don't try to explain him.
Yeah. Like what is dude? His girlfriend? That's effed up, bro. That is effed up.
I felt that loss.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I felt the loss of Allison. Like I felt that loss. Yeah. And that like you could tell that he loved her. Like that was the
goofy as he was.
A lot of times there's some movies where they're supposed to love each other and you don't feel any of that chemistry at all.
Yeah.
No, I feel like these are two people that have dated, fallen in love, and they are connected, right? Yeah. And so when she's taken away from him early on in the movie, you feel the grief that he has, where he not only lost his family, right? The found family that he has, right?
Over that.
But he also lost the woman that that he would have fallen in love with more than likely, had kids with.
Yeah.
Lived his life reaction, man, when he comes into the bathroom and sees the scene. And I'm not going to give Berg a lot of points for being a good actor. That's why he's a director now.
Yeah, so he's a much better director than he is.
But he's really good as Jonathan. And his reaction to that is great.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times I see a movie and, to Daryl's point, you really feel that he lost the love of his life here. Yeah. And it's just a great reaction. And going back to the humor thing, it's a pretty humorless flick until the prison.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they unfortunately inject too much humor, and it all happens in one scene because he's got his setup with the TV and he's got the whole voodoo thing going on, and you get the idea he's about to make the transference. And instead of just doing it, you have to add the cheesy thing with the lips that come out of the TV. Like, you got it.
My kids laughed.
And then you follow suit a few minutes later when they're giving him CPR.
And the guy's dude's lip.
And it's like,
Oh,
yeah,
God.
it hits a level of absurdity.
I would say it does, but that looked like it hurt like hell. So.
You know, I did like how they kicked him afterwards.
The way he mows down,
they just went into him.
The way he mows down law enforcement and towards that part is just like they are just cannon fodder by that, right?
Yeah, but to Rick's point about that, and also the other issue, and this is a more of a story problem I have with the movie, because it doesn't go full like his whole use of like voodoo. That's kind of like Child's Play. Opening freaking scene. Right. We get that this killer knows what he's doing with this stuff, and that's how he gets into the doll. Spoiler alert. Yeah. Spoiler alert for Chucky. So this movie, though, you don't even know that per se until you get to that point, and then it's like out of nowhere. And then follow up almost immediately afterwards in the middle of all this wackiness is, and by the way, he's your dad, which is why you're in his dreams. It felt very like shoehorned in. It feels like they had introduced.
But I love that part though. I love that when he reveals it right during the,
because it explains his connection.
Yes,
right?
but I think if we had gotten a better sense of Horace Pinker had supernatural tendencies prior to that moment as well, it feels all too rushed. It's very rushed. Whereas if it building up.
Point, you could have split this into two movies, had them kind of bleed into each other there.
It feels like he felt like he had to. It feels like he felt like he was pressured into giving everything in the first film, right?
Yeah,
like,
I see that.
Instead of going with he's just evil, right? Like you could have, you know what he could have did? He could have gave a little bit more background on that being his father, finding out about that being his father. Let him kill some more regularly before he's killed. Like he could have waited until the end of the movie to kill him, to electrocute
him become this new thing.
And then you would have built up that he had these powers or
let him become this thing, and also let Jonathan start to dream about Allison to kind of set the steps for the second movie where she kind of
she was kind of like his, you remember Pet Sematary Pascal? She was kind of like that character. She was that
better looking, a lot better looking,
much better looking. but also,
I would have done this, not that.
But to the other point about, I think Jonathan going into his dreams, if you like, I honestly had forgotten the whole father-son connection thing. It's been so long since I've seen it. So when I always think, because Horace obviously knows, because obviously he's the one that like, oh son, I think, what if we had like, and I realize I'm Monday morning quarterback and friggin' Wes Craven, but I feel like had there been more of a build up, like you're saying, Daryl, and we had gotten this supernatural idea with Horace, and Horace was intentionally, and because you could make the argument he was bringing Jonathan into his dreams almost to like get him to want to be part of what he, you know what I mean? Like he knows, but you never sense until that moment in the prison that even Horace knew that was his son. Like there's nothing leading up to it where he's like, if there have been little clues that we look back with, oh damn, he knew the whole time. Yeah. There's no evidence on screen that he knew.
I think the thing that, and because it was Wes Craven and not somebody just fresh starting to do horror movies for the first time, is that Wes Craven developed characters that we like already. He had a good foundation of friends, right? Like the football team,
yes, they were good friends.
And they weren't the way that they connected with each other. I mean, I think he did a good job of that quickly, right? Like he came in, he learned how he bonded with the team. Yeah. Rhino was like his dude, right?
Yeah.
To the point that one opening scene built it there because of the whole great bit with the whole thing about, when the coach is chewing him out, right? And he says like, you have the ability of greatness, but you lack, focus or whatever. Mm-hmm. And he talks about just like that young girl with no shirt on, and he looks and then hits him. It's a great way to get all these characters to like each other immediately.
Right. Yes. Right. And listen, let me tell you something as a black man. For a black man to jump in the middle of armed police ready to take down, right?
Yeah. Yes.
That means I have to fucking love you like family, right?
Like
for me to
what the translation of that is, we all three would be dead.
Right. Right. I mean, for him to do that, I mean, and it felt real because, again, Wes Craven is not some schlub, right? Like, he knows how to quickly create a team of characters who gel well, like he did with, like Freddy Krueger. Like, when he made these friends.
He co-wrote Dream Warriors, right? I think wasn't he co-write on that? Yeah.
Right. So that when these friends are together, you feel like they're really friends together, right? Like they had a history.
The coach is in on it.
That's the thing that I think I enjoyed about this the most. And also the kills where they go to his lair.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking love that. Like those scenes of him, bringing the cop in. You don't even see him really kill the cop, but you see the blood start
coming out. That was a good sequence. Yes, yeah.
I absolutely loved it, but again, it's Wes Craven. Like, I mean, what knows how to do it.
To your point, though, I will say this: my very first job, my uncle owned a TV VCR repair shop for like 30 years in the small town that I went to high school in, and my first job was like I got to help out and like mainly just go lift crap and stuff. They didn't trust me with electronics.
No, why wouldn't?
Why would they? But it's funny because like that whole, I actually liked the whole layout of the place, like with just all the TV. I just love the way it looked. I love the production design. The look of this movie, by the way, I love that. And a lot of people don't for whatever reason, but late 80s, early 90s movies, I actually like the aesthetic a lot of them, just the way they were. I don't remember who the DP is on this, but it was a really well put together movie. But back to your point about the friends, there was another aspect that I almost wanted it to be more of the movie, which was when the group of them get together to like work as a team. There was something about just the vibe of that group. I thought the idea that like almost like growing as a team, like they're a football team, but then having to fight this evil together. And it's like, I wanted more of that too.
Yeah.
I felt like I wanted more of that.
But there's no time. It's though it's an hour, it's almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
This movie is almost 2 hours. So I get it. Like they had to cut a lot of stuff. But I think that they rushed. And I understand the pressure is, you did that over there, right? I want a franchise over here, right? Like this is why we're doing this, to get the friend. Like show us your stuff. Like we want the best, so we can get a big franchise. And so I think he felt like he had to do more in this movie as opposed to building slowly
which is ironically what hurts it. Because
that's what hurts it, right?
It would have been, I think, a lot more successful had it been more of a straight.
Because if you're not scared of Freddy Krueger being a pedophile, evil.
Well, technically, he was just a child murderer, Daryl.
But the implications, right? Like the implications are, if you don't build up how terrible Freddy Krueger is just as a human, it doesn't, you don't get all those Nightmare on Elm Street movies after, right? Like if you don't build that up to the point where the town wanted him dead, that's what you needed, right? And so I don't think he was given the time he needed to get. I don't think he felt like he was safe enough to get the time he needed to build that kind of background so that he could do more with this character, because this character is evil. Like he is scary. He is evil. What I like about him also is Horace throughout the movie can fight. He's not somebody where
he's a strong dude.
They don't do that convenient thing of these normal people who are not you. Listen, if you have never fought in your life and you get punched in the fucking face,
you're not coming
it fucking hurts. Okay. Like there's no such thing as I'm going to run and rumble with this dude for 5, 10, 15 minutes and then I'm going to beat him at the end. No, you get punched in the face by somebody used to fighting, it's going to fucking rock your head. So that's the thing. This dude is knocking. He's used to fighting
see that
constantly.
Like when they go to his repair shop, where he takes care of the. You see the first cop you don't see get killed. The second and third cop you see, and then when you get outside, there's a cop up on the cop. Pressed with the screen. You don't see what happened to him. You know it hurt though,
right? Right.
And that takes power. So that's when you kind of know.
And this is and this character is exciting enough that I could see like another sequel would be we learned that his father used to beat the shit out of him every day. Like we see.
Oh yeah, there's a definite backstory.
Right. There's such a backstory. Like what makes you this evil? Where he killed 30 people in the first half of the movie.
And I want to say like just people, but like families. Like
families.
Children.
He hates. That's families. The thing that I liked. Not that I hate family, but I mean, but the thing is I like is that it fits a psychosis that he hates the family setting so much that he wants to obliterate it. And there are people out in the world who do that, right?
Yes.
That's their response. Yes. And so it's built so well. And it's really kind of disappointing that he didn't get a chance to do more with this world.
Well, and back to the whole that theme you're talking about. I think that's the other issue is that because Rick, I think you made the point. He's trying on one level to have this whole theme about like violence in the TV and media and all that kind of thing. But then I think that theme about a guy who hates family so much that he then starts to, because he has this ability through his voodoo or whatever the hell he's doing to bring his actual biological son, who doesn't even know they have that connection, in almost like to punish. Like I feel like that theme by itself, you got a whole movie out of that. You don't have to go. I mean, yes, the media, like keep that on the periphery. That should be there. But it felt like that's the theme I think that Craven really wanted was the media one. I think that was what he was really trying to explore.
But that's why you could have done it like two. You had the first movie, even though you don't make a movie to know that you don't know.
You don't know the
franchise,
right?
But that first movie building up, having that theme, and then have kind of like the media under it, and then make that take more like the center stage in the second movie, perhaps.
Yeah.
So you have both kind of like interwoven, but more at the end of the first, and then.
And then you have father and son who the father probably never had a found family. And then he looks at his son, right? This guy
who's this all-American quarterback.
Who not only didn't have his biological family in his life, really, right? But this fucker was lucky enough to build himself another family. Like, how dare he be allowed to have this family.
Daryl, what you're saying, that's the movie I want. Like that,
right.
That's the movie where it's all just about, where it turns out that's the dynamic. Because the reason why I think Nightmare on Elm Street is a more successful movie, forget the franchise, everything they came after, that is because thematically, he was that whole idea of the sins of the father are passed on to the children kind of vibe, that idea of, vengeance just begets more violence and so on, and just how that dynamic and that theme that ends up being what the movie is essentially kind of about is so focused. I think it makes for a much stronger story. Now, all that being said, I enjoyed this movie for what it is. I see the potential that it could have been a lot more than what it ended up being.
Because Friday the 13th, I think what's so brilliant about it is to see this town. You never get the aftermath of what a town does before this, right? Before Nightmare, where these are parents that got together to murder somebody.
Yeah. And even they're not. But here's what I love about Craven is that it's easy to say they're wrong because morally and legally they are. Right. But go ahead and have some dude kill your kids, get away with it, and have a smirk on his face as he goes whistling out of the court, and you're a better man than I.
That's hit him with your truck.
But I like the aftermath of that trauma where we don't get that in TV and movies anymore. It's great. Yeah, you got your vengeance, but to us to see the family, these parents go to shit, right? The sheriff is drinking himself.
The mom too.
The mom is obliterated, right? They can't live with what they did.
Now their kids are being punished.
Right, and their kids are being punished by this because they have no protection. They're not telling them what happened. They're not sharing with them the secret, and that's the secret that's killing them. Again, that's what's part of what's brilliant about the connection we make with the Nightmare on Elm Street stuff, where kids do feel like we don't tell them everything, right? We do feel like that. So that was why it was fun to connect with that movie, even though we got this boogeyman that's coming to kill us. And if you had just fucking told us what you had done, we probably would have had a better tools to fight this evil entity. And so it had it has the building blocks of it in the movie, which makes it enjoyable. Like, you hate this guy. Like, Horace is so terrible. Like, you hate this dude.
You kind of forget how dark. I had forgotten how dark. I mean, him slaying the family and then his girlfriend and all of that. I was like, oh, I didn't remember this. I
didn't either.
The sense memory when you watch this movie, when you and you get a couple of years ahead of it, you remember kind of like the third act.
I remember it being lighter.
Jump around and
you
all
just
that.
remember the third act.
You kind of forget the first dark bit with the killings, basically. Where the killings that hurt. The hurt, because Peter Berg, again, when he walks into that bathroom and he sees, and I remember thinking, holy shit, that's a lot of blood.
And he's good enough. Well, he was a TV actor too, so he was good enough to show loss. Right? Like, he was good enough to.
He's good at emoting. It's funny because there's something about him as an actor.
My wife actually walked in and I had paused the thing. She's like, "Is that Ethan Hawke?" I was like, "No."
He does look like Ethan Hawke.
There's a
Ethan Hawke light.
Ethan Hawke light. Yeah, that's a good point.
It does.
Well, Berg has a very odd. Berg has like a very odd cadence when he speaks.
Yeah.
So it's very strange.
It's like a speech impediment almost.
Yeah.
But again, with that girlfriend, the killing, and Horace afterwards, the way he kind of just like hurts him again with I took my time. She hurt.
Oh yeah,
when I killed. I was like, oh my god, and with that big ass knife, that weapon. Even if you see in other movies with a hatchet or anything, but that knife, that hurt.
And loss is lost, right?
Yeah.
Craven knows how to do loss because there's not this, when he does this little speech about, this is how it feels to be victimized. Listen, dudes that do that, they don't give a shit. They're not gonna do this big speech about, you know what, you're right. Me killing all those people. I've learned my lesson. I learned now. No, there is something broken in that.
I just side note made a huge mistake as per usual. As we're getting ready to go to bed, we're watching the latest. What is it called? Dialogue with the Devil, where they actually play the audio recordings with Ted Bundy being interviewed by the police.
Why would you do that,
dude? Because it was when they were interviewing him to find out who the Green River Killer was. Bro, I always knew Bundy was horrible, like intellectually, but when he's like. When they're describing what he did specifically with human heads, and like you're like,
listen,
whoa,
that's like watching the Iceman tapes. I'm thinking this is a good night story, isn't it?
I don't know what's wrong with us.
Well, I think what scares us a lot is that we tend to think when someone is a serial killer and they do stuff, and we're like, that's so inhuman. No, that's human.
It's what they call it the banality of evil. Like real evil is very boring in a way. Like it kind of creeps in and it just.
We want to make it supernatural. That's the whole thing with horror, right? We want to make it supernatural, but no, it is a built-in thing in our DNA. That we have the capacity to do it. Right? Like the thing is, that's what makes it so scary is that you can't pinpoint who's going to do that. You can't pinpoint if your neighbor is the killer or if the ice cream man is the killer or the whatever. Like you don't
bus
know
driver.
That. You don't know that. And so that's the kind of fun and horror in it and scariness in it of I don't know who's the boogeyman is going to come and kill my whole family, right? Like, and that's
because really, in real, like Horace Pinker is cartoonishly evil. Like he's so over the top. Like, and honestly, if I'm being like in most stories that I think are the most powerful are the ones, and because even Freddy, even from the jump, is pretty cartoonishly evil. But it's when the killer is a little more nuanced than that, right? When it's a little bit more like the whole Hannibal Lecter type vibe, where you're like this guy you could have dinner with and not realize something else is going on here. Now, there's some people.
If you're eating your pieces of your own brain,
maybe then.
And then there's this whole thing of Craven sees the audience is going, "Wow, he is so violent," but then he goes through TV and he's like, "Do you not notice that we have war pictures at the same time that Leave It to Beaver is playing?" Like, of course we have people that are like this.
I do want to say back to Rick's earlier point. As heavy-handed as one might view Craven and people on the stairs, by comparison to today's heavy-handedness, I'll take it all day, law.
Oh, absolutely. I know.
Because people under the stairs, yes, it's got a heavy socioeconomic message and racial message, but the difference is you could also just watch that movie as a dark fairy tale. Like it's a fairy tale. So I feel like you can enjoy it on the surface level as much as you, because I was like 13 or 14 when that movie came out. I wasn't until I got older that going into that movie as a kid, because I was the same age as Fool, I just liked the kid.
You see it different in different stages of your life.
Sure, but that's what's great. I mean, that's great cinema.
I think that's why people really connected to Sinners. It wasn't like Sinners was not. It didn't just bring black folks to the movies. No. It didn't bring us, just us. It brought horror fans to the movies as well in droves, because it's like it did all these things, right? The South, racism, economics,
great music,
how the cities were, with the gang violence and what it teaches you. War. Plus we had wars going on at the same time. And then you throw these people that you use to fight your wars, and you throw them out into society without jobs. And what do you expect to happen?
Exactly.
All of that's in the movie.
Yes. But it's not heavy-handed.
But it's not telling you racism is bad.
Yeah. You know what it is, Daryl? It's as simple as this. It's the difference between I'm going to bring up ideas and themes for you to think about.
Yes.
And whatever you take away. I'm not going to tell you what to think. Or
it also does another thing too. It's like women were smart back then too. And they show it by showing the men listen to the women in the story, as opposed to saying women should be respected. No, just do it. Just show it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
We didn't all treat women badly back then. Just show it.
Yes,
and and that's the thing. And again, Wes Craven, people might say it's heavy-handed, but I don't think so.
Honestly, I'll say Jordan Peele's another person.
Yes.
But I honestly, obviously there's a lot of themes in his movies that are very,
But let me see the theme myself.
Yes. Yeah, but don't he rides the line. Like he's like right on, but he doesn't, in my opinion, it doesn't go so far over the edge as to where I'm like, oh my God, I get it.
No.
Should I bring up the movie Crash again?
Yes. Yeah.
Which one?
And it's I think Sinners is such an old school. Yeah. I think Sinners is such an old school kind of movie where it doesn't rely heavily on that.
I'm gonna go because I have to be that guy.
Yes,
I'm gonna go against what every other white person on YouTube.
Yes,
it is only like my second or third favorite horror movie of the year. But I did love it. I thought it was really good. But it's not my. Everyone's like, it's the best movie I've ever. Although I love all the white critics say it's the best movie I've ever seen in my life. Oh, shut up.
No,
it's great. It's really cool. I love the Assault on Precinct 13 of it all. But no, personally, Weapons is my favorite movie.
I have not seen yet, but I do want to see that.
Love Weapons.
I really do.
Rick, you and I talked about Weapons already, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's my second favorite.
I know. Yes, I know.
I bring this up. And I bring this up because I think it goes with this movie in terms of, again, Sinners plays with a lot of genres. If I'm not mistaken, Weapons fucks with genres too.
Yes,
right?
It does. Yes.
And that's the thing that I think studios are not understanding is these movies are not just winning out of nowhere. If you notice, it's because you let the directors fucking rock.
And wait, you ready? You ready for this? Ready for something crazy, Daryl? Both Sinners and Weapons were mid-tier budgeted, original works, and yet
IPs.
somehow they made a crap ton of money compared to their budget. Weird. And
I do think that by pulling the money back, by pulling the money back, I do think we would get more movies like this.
Yes. Oh my God, I'd be so happy.
Even better movies than this.
Oh my God.
Even though this is an enjoyable movie, but I think why horror is having these triumphs in the background that's going on right now is that when you have people that are not relying on like a Megan to be like a thing.
Yeah.
It's not trying to be a thing. The only reason why the first movie made it, was a hit was because you didn't know it was going to be a hit.
Yes.
And you just did the movie. And
the goal was to tell a great story, not to make some kind of like having this down the road. Oh, we got to make a look. As much as I enjoy Leprechaun and all those kind of movies, the first thing I'll tell you, all those Dr. Giggles, all of them were made with a franchise in the front of everybody's mind. That's what they were trying to do, and it shows. It honestly shows.
Right, it shows.
It's why those movies didn't go on to do probably. And ironically, Leprechaun became a ridiculous franchise.
It did.
But I still stand by my point that most of those movies from that year, especially from that night, once we get post Freddy and Jason and everything, we get a lot of these movies. And until Scream, we're all like, Scream. I don't think Scream's intention when they wrote it and directed it and made
they didn't know.
Was that they had no idea it was going to do what it did.
No,
and that's
Scream was.
You never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
Scream was for me. It's like I don't go heavily into horror, but I know enough. I watched enough horror films where when you play with it, the genre, and you fuck with the genre enough, and then you throw in all those teen movies we watched as kids. And you mix the genres together. That's what I'm talking about. Mix the shit together. It's all right. You
do
can
something
do
different. Do something different.
Put it in the bag and fucking shake it up a little bit and do some stuff.
That why we have horror porn? I mean,
whoa.
Well, you know,
so
horror porn is marriage. No, I'm just.
Should we get back to Shocker?
Rick,
I got to go to a wedding. I'm really scared.
Rick, unless you forgot what it's like to podcast with us, this happens. What are your other thoughts about Shocker? Because this is your baby. This is your.
Well, I wanted to go back to the idea of his power and everything. And though we don't see anything happen supernatural until he's in prison, I always wondered if this was something Craven was hinting at in the opening. Because when you hear John Tesh as the reporter, which I thought was cute, when he starts talking about the murders, he makes a point to say that the break-ins seem to be, there was some line, I forgot to go back to it, but it was something about there was no apparent sign of a break-in.
Yeah, exactly.
So I always wondered if he had already obtained this power somewhat and was able to gain access to the home.
He should have, to me, I agree with you, that teased out, but then maybe like after the opening kills or whatever, we should have had a moment where we saw some more. I felt like it's too much of a jump. It's like there's too many big leaps. It's like you go from that.
Oh, no, I agree.
And it's like if it had been like a little bit more breadcrumbs along the way. Not that it's not even really confusing. It's more just it feels very abrupt. It's just a little too sudden, as opposed to had it been. But to Daryl's earlier point, it's like it felt like they were trying to shove so much into this 2-hour time frame. I think that I don't know that they had the opportunity to get all that in. I don't know. I just think it would have been a stronger movie had they done it.
Yeah, but you think about it, like you said, there's no apparent sign of break-in. But you have, even in real life, you have some of the serial killers and the rapists and all that we've all seen stories and listened to podcasts about. Some of them do not have any apparent sign of break-in, but they seem to be able to get in anyway. So that's kind of it's a nice touch, like Rick said. You kind of
it goes to the false sense of security. That
you have. Right? Did he maybe have some power to get in, or was he just? It's I don't know. It's a nice touch, and it's just a line that weighs in on them maybe.
And I don't want to know exactly, right? No. Like I like how powerful was he back then? Could like how much did he go into that supernatural power and stuff? Like maybe he got in another way and did it or whatever. We don't know. But I think the thing that's scary is we don't know. Like we don't know. How do you stop something like that when you don't understand?
He wouldn't have stopped. Imagine you standing and watching his TV repair van like appearing in front of your doorstep.
Right. Could have just
it looked like a child had drawn that on the side of that van. So I kind of wouldn't have thought, oh, look, that is a professional TV repairman. I'll just let him in.
Will you be surprised? Will you be surprised how many people do that? You'd be surprised now how many people leave their doors open. When they ask,
in our neighborhood, we had a family get taken hostage, and we live in a very like middle class suburban type neighborhood. It is okay. To be fair point, but it was. Thank God they're all okay. But a dude was basically running from the cops, and it was like 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't know if they just let their dogs out, had the back door unlocked, and somehow he's just checking doors and he throws it open, bro. And like ever since then, every time the kids walk back in, I'm like, lock the door.
You'd be surprised how many. Like a friend of mine lives in DC, and it's a suburban area, and I'm watching. I was watching the kids while they went out to pick up some stuff, and I come back, and I was locking doors.
Mm-hmm.
And they kept
Before the
going,
kids
we
came
don't
back?
lock the and the kids was like, we don't lock the doors here. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, you're children. It's fine. I get it. You're children. But in my mind, I'm like, your fucking parents are crazy, and I'm going to tell them when they come back. Like, this is how they fucking kill you. If you not watch the movies,
yeah, exactly.
Like, what is wrong with you?
Yes.
But that's the thing. Like, we don't. Remember, he goes after families in suburban areas, not crime-ridden areas where we know. And when you live in an area that has a crime rate, you fucking know to lock shit and be cautious, right?
Yeah.
But in an area where, you know, the church is down the block, we have PTA,
you get comfortable. You get complacent.
You get comfortable, you get complacent, and then it only takes the one murder to happen before you go.
Can we point out something very obvious though? Purely, why would Horace want to park his damn van in front of a house that he's going to murder a family with the damn name on the side of the thing?
Exactly, right?
Stupidity.
I realize for plot purposes that has to happen, but really, bro, like.
Or was that just in Jonathan's scenes?
Now that's but had they established that better, that would have made more sense.
Yeah,
if you're to your point, yes.
Maybe he cut their lines and then pretended to be a repairman. Yeah. Checking the area.
Yeah.
See, and the other thing is too, we don't know because there's no one really around to talk to about it anymore. You know, Craven's gone and whatnot. Yeah. Maybe there was more to the movie. Maybe they did some editing to it. I mean,
have you seen the commentary, Rick? Have you seen the commentary for it?
They don't go in. It's a poorly moderated commentary.
That's unfortunate. Yeah.
See, but the thing I keep wondering is if it was cut 13 times due to violence already, maybe they had to cut down things just to keep it under 2 hours.
It feels like a very edited movie and not in a good way. It feels like things are because the way it jumped, like there's also a little bit of a lack of cause and effect to how things happen. Like you know, it's almost like, okay, Jonathan goes here and then he happens to just go here and then he happens to just go here and then this thing happens and then it's not as much, you get a sense. And then sometimes things needle together better, but then I don't know, it's just weird. Like it feels disjointed.
Yeah, he's already like working with the cops already. Like running around.
Okay, can we address something?
Scene.
I have to address this. The one thing it did kind of bug me in the movie, I'm not gonna lie. And I think I can't remember what do I know Michael Murphy from? The guy who played his dad. Or his
Tanner 88.
Yeah, I know that movie, but I feel like there's something else.
I kind of had a feeling.
Batman Returns, Salvador Cloak and Dagger.
Cloak and Dagger!
Yeah.
Yes,
and he was in Count Yorga too. We covered that a couple
years
ago.
And yes, I remember that. And I also, Cloak and Dagger, I actually could visualize him in my head from Cloak and Dagger. Yes, I remember him in Cloak and Dagger. Okay, but regardless
and Batman
of that.
Returns too.
Yes,
you remember
yes.
That?
Yep.
He is a good actor, so I'm not knocking him. But that character.
He's more politician than cop.
Yeah, he's such a, it's first off.
Yeah.
His like the way he maybe crime fighting was different back then, but the way he lets his son just sort of mosey on in into crime scenes, it's like there's that, but there's also just it's a weird behavioral.
There's actually the scene where when Jonathan when he comes home, when he's heard about his girlfriend, and you hear in the background, please don't let him go in there, stop him, someone, and he just walk. I don't think there's one cop who kind of makes the move to maybe stop him, but then kind of
they're like, let him see his girlfriend.
Don't let him go in. And then
he's like touching the walls, the blood. It's like
he's very passive until like the third act, where the most cop-like is when he's in the third act, right?
When he gets possessed,
when he fakes a heart attack. That's a smart
thing
to do, right?
Yeah.
Like, so, but you don't get that in the beginning that he's that smart.
Yeah.
You kind of get it where he's just chasing his tail. He's just chasing his tail.
He feels very inept. Like he feels like a very inept cop, which is fine. You can have that.
Which is fine. We've seen it.
But he's just weirdly like like Dewey in Scream, you could argue seems inept, but he isn't really. Right. You know what I mean? He seems inept. Whereas this one, it's like it was just passive is a really good way of putting it. Like he feels very I don't know. It feels like he's not in a different movie necessarily, but he feels weirdly out of place.
When you do these movies, if you're gonna make
his character has a lot going on, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
he does. But that's another point.
His family is dead,
right?
And maybe it's because my sister's a cop.
He's not fucked up enough.
Yeah, but yes,
you know what I mean.
Like, your family just got butchered. I think you're going to be like. And the other thing is, guess what? I'd seen enough cop stuff, and my sister's a cop, my uncle was a cop.
Yeah.
There's no way in hell a guy that close to all this shit is going to be allowed to be anywhere remotely close to this.
Probably
case.
not.
There's no.
Yeah, but that's movie logic. You can't argue movie logic.
Yes
It
and
happens all the time.
Yes and no. Yes and no. Meaning, if I don't know, I feel like though, to your point, yes, okay, if it's going to be, he's going through a lot, sure, but then she should be even more.
Like John Saxon, you could tell that dude lost somebody.
That's a better, that's a very good analogy.
Yeah, but to be fair, we're talking John Saxon. John Saxon, you can drop him in anything. He's
right.
No, in other words, take away from this, John Saxon should
even pit someone against John Saxon.
But you need that kind of actor. Like you need that kind of actor that could be like, I need fucking grief. I don't. But
also like a stoic, like the Saxon could put on that wall.
I'm dying inside.
Yes. But this guy, I kind of felt like he was just, and look, the idea of like being broken by it, fine, but then be broken by it, like be, and I just never felt that with him.
Yeah, it's like when you need it's funny because it's like with comics, Commissioner Gordon from Batman was pretty much created from all the old movies where the captain would be the smart one right? And then the cops would be the ones getting fucked up. They'd be bumbling the case. Or the captain is the fucked up one, a hard ass, not really doing his job. And it's the grunts they figure out the murder or whatever. And then they have to ignore and go against orders, right? It's either one or the other, but you can't have both. You can't have inept. It's not fun to watch the captain be inept and also the cops working for him. Like you got to have one or the other. And I think that's kind of what makes it wavy.
Yeah,
a little too shaky in the beginning.
So when the body hopping actually started to occur, did you guys like any of that?
Okay, I will say this though. I also the whole park scene I kind of found hilarious. Like that little girl is hilarious. Like I
thought about it. Cracked up. The moment the kid got taken over. Oh my god!
With horror, I thought about like if you're put in that situation, you think I'm smarter than them, right? Like I can get through it. I can't. I couldn't figure out a way to. How are you going to get this kid, the spirit in this kid? You can't fuck up a kid in the middle of a park.
No.
You're stuck, right? And you're a male, and this is a little girl.
Yeah.
Of course you look like a fucking monster trying to stop
100%.
So how do you do it? Like, how do you get through this?
Yeah. It's just
it's a cool scene because
it's the cool scene.
Yeah. And then what is it? Alice Cooper's guitarist or
he's the construction worker.
By the way, all of us thought when he went into that guy, we're like, perfect. That's a perfect. The way that you just even look, he had that Pinker vibe.
He looks evil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did. He had that grin. That was awesome.
And did the smartest thing possible. Take the thing with don't touch it with your hand and throw the shit in the water. Smart.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. Yep.
Like I almost thought they weren't going to beat this guy. I'm like, how do you beat? Like he actually is
you actually get villain. To a point. Yeah, you get to a point where how are you going to?
Because to murder that many people, you have to be smart in terms of how you kill people. You have to be smart to do that.
I think sometimes
Pinker's not a stupid man.
I think sometimes serial killers get mythologized and they're like, oh, they're like super geniuses. No, they're not.
No.
But to get away now, to be fair, it was easier to do this 40, 50 years ago than it is now. But to do like what Bundy did and people like that, to be able to do it to that degree, you got to be at least somewhat clever or have been in law enforcement. Like the Golden State Killer was like a former cop. So like, and then if you've got that, but then again, what did Bundy do? He took criminology and he was a law student. So they know enough to like be able to play the game and know how.
You just can't stand out. That's how they did it. They did not stand. They knew how to not stand out.
Yep.
It's easy
in this park scene. You kind of have he gets into the kid. Well, at first it gets into the jogger and then the kid.
Right.
And you kind of have to make the kid do something where Jonathan. Well, you had the mother chasing her anyway, but make him look like the bad guy, which is fairly easy. Well, if you're kind of shaking a kid and screaming at her.
Yeah.
But then he jumps into the mom and probably Horace think, okay, I'm not going to get a lot out of this woman anyway.
No, I need a bigger person. I need a bigger man. Yeah.
Which is why he kind of plays it up like he does in that scene. So he gets the attention of the construction worker.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he's not, it's not like he's just a dumbass. He
knows.
No,
I don't think so.
He doesn't act like a man in his body.
Smart.
He acts like the person.
Yeah, he's street smart. Horace Pinker's
smarter than the average bear.
Yes.
Yeah, because the average person would not figure this shit out in 5 seconds.
No,
like you're just gonna look and be like, we make judgments all the time, right? If it's a bigger person and the smaller person, you're gonna think the smaller person is the victim. That's just the way we think, right?
Impersonating a chair, though.
I thought Cherry. I said Cherry. It's Cherry from Pewits.
Yeah. When the eyes open,
yes,
I was like on the floor. It's
I'm not gonna lie.
Amazing.
I think this movie would have been stronger and more successful. See the earlier part of this discussion about it being darker and focus more on that stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't said yet, which I actually kind of loved. Like if you're gonna go bonkers, you just go full bonkers.
Yeah.
Go full, just batshit crazy.
That chair was it.
That was it. But from that point on, and I liked like them going through the TV. I would have either wanted a movie, all of that, like have Horace get. Honestly, that was the thing that threw me that I had forgotten. I thought Horace got fried in like the first 10, 15 minutes.
That's what I thought. I
thought it was more him jumping around.
Yeah.
And it's like I was like, we're like 45 minutes or an hour, whatever in the movie. I'm like, did this dude die? Like,
which makes me feel like that's why I was saying it makes me feel like this was something that would happen at the end of the first movie.
Yeah.
And move to the second movie. But I don't know. That's the sad thing is we can't ever ask him now. We can't even ask him if you meant to do that or not.
Yeah. But so I guess we can all come down on the idea that this movie was a big old pile of trash and that Rick is to blame. Rick, you should pleasantly
Did you guys notice Craven at the end, by the way?
I didn't. I saw him in the credits. I actually went back to see if I could figure out.
Not only him. He had two of his kids in this movie, too.
Yeah.
The jogger was one of his kids.
Yeah, the jogger was his
and
I didn't realize that
until
I saw the name.
Where Jonathan leans in and switches from the news to the game. The girl in there is also
his daughter.
Craven kid. Yeah.
Yeah, Nancy in this.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize any of that until I saw the credits, and then I was like going back and trying to find
she's on one of the stretchers in one of the news casts. So,
but I love Wes at the end because he's like, Jonathan, did I just see you on TV?
Yeah,
that was great.
The cast is kind of cool too, even though that was also one of the reasons he could kind of keep the budget down because of the cast. None of them are really big actors, but nowadays
other than Ted
Raimi. Yeah. But nowadays we know them.
Yeah. But it was so expensive to make, though. It was still $10 million, which again,
1989 money. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So you compared to Carpenter, I mean, Prince of Darkness is a pretty stacked cast. I know they're all character actors, but and still, they did that for $3 million.
Yeah.
So I really think if this movie had been made at like $3 million at that point, it would have made enough money to where they were like, oh, okay, let's go ahead and do another one.
If they did, I think again, that's why if you pull back on some of the supernatural stuff until later in the movie, I think that probably would have made it a little bit cheaper to make. If you'd stayed.
I think he had a Zack Snyder thing happening. It was like studios like, can you give us an entire franchise in one movie? And it's like, well, I'll try.
When is he gonna come? When is he gonna be doing quips and shit? And when is he gonna?
We don't want to wait till the third or fourth entry. We need it now. And
do it now.
Just I looked it up. It would be the equivalent of $26 million in today's dollars. The budget, which in Hollywood terms isn't that high. Actually,
but
an independent company like Alive, it would have definitely been substantial.
But the biggest travesty is that we still don't have a Shocker action figure. We have
I would buy that
action figures,
a 12-inch Horace Pinker in the chair. You got to get him with the chair, and then outside. I would buy that.
Why do I feel like
have him stand in a like a globe? It's like when you touch it, you have the electricity.
That would be awesome.
But that's crazy that we don't, because as much as people say they don't like this movie, it's in the world, right? Like I've seen that image.
There's something iconic about him in that jumper. Yes.
Right. When they've done montages of horror films, I've seen that image of him in the chair being
that poster or that VHS cover. You've seen that everywhere.
Yeah,
so exactly.
I just looked it up. There are quite a few of them, but they all appear to be ones that people probably just made for themselves.
They made it themselves.
Yeah, like a 3D printer or something. Yeah.
But if McFarlane Toys did it,
oh, bro, I would buy that.
Imagine how pretty it would be.
I would buy that in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
I'm not much of a dork.
He would be
did a horror line too.
I know he did, but can you imagine? I wish I had those. Those are worth some.
Yeah, they are.
Which ones?
Yeah.
Oh, the movie Maniacs are.
Yeah, those. Yeah.
The original releases.
Man, I remember when this came out too. What was wrong with that?
Yeah, the tall man goes for like $200.
Jesus.
Crazy.
It's incredible. Yeah.
One last thing too.
Okay.
It's kind of cool that Mitch worked with Wes again on a TV pilot called Night Visions.
Okay.
And if you saw it, they showed it as a TV movie ultimately.
We were just talking about that, Peter. We haven't seen it. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a copy of it. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
But Mitch plays like the police captain.
Okay.
For, James Remar.
Yeah, I told my kids that.
They worked on. He was a thug in the vampire flick.
Vampire Brooklyn.
Vampire Brooklyn. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. To me, Vampire Brooklyn is an example of a movie that. And you don't like that one or don't like that, Rick? I can't remember. You do like it or don't like it?
We covered it.
No, I don't like it ultimately, which I find sad because the whole reason Eddie hired him is because he was Wes Craven.
Yeah.
So, but
I liked it way more when we covered it because I
hadn't.
hadn't seen it. It was one of the few Craven movies I hadn't seen, and I remember I was shocked at how much I liked it because it makes it like went in with low expectations. I don't know, but to me, like. It's not nearly as funny as you think it would be. Like I remember it's played a lot more because it also got Angela Bassett in it. So but anyway, not to digress to that.
Well,
but
I think I think it's like this movie. I think it suffered from pressure from outside of the creative side.
It needs to be funny. It needs to be
it needs to be funny. And then Eddie is doing the opposite. I don't want to be funny.
No, I don't.
I want to be serious. Right.
Yep.
And so who do you answer to?
Eddie Murphy.
In a situation like this. Yeah,
but he was also pressured into doing some funny. He did multiple characters in the movie, and you have some funny characters in it, but still he wanted to break out of that funny stuff. And
if you had an actor who was not mentally trying to go against type and just do the best movie, then I think if he had done it now, it probably would have been a better movie. Yeah. But because of his mindset then, it must have been like a hard thing to deal with to try to do that movie with him.
Yeah,
and not be able to do what you want to do.
Probably, yeah. So I will say that it's funny. I think I'm the only one who didn't say that when I first saw this movie, which was actually last week. That's the first time I ever saw this movie.
What?
I literally said at the beginning, I was talking about I hadn't seen the movie in like 30 years.
You live hard.
No, yes, but you know what's my early memory of this movie is? I saw it like Peter. I rented it. I didn't see it in the theater. I know that. I think the first Craven movie I ever saw in the theater would have been People Under the Stairs. I'm pretty sure. But this one, I remember. Do you remember when pay-per-view would be the channel that was like the pay-per-view guide, and they'd always had like the little teaser trailers for different movies that were the new releases that were playing. You remember those? I assume you guys all had that. Peter, did you ever have that? I don't know if you had that where you were, but
we've had. Yeah.
So you had like the pay-per-view channel, and shocker, I always remember that one, Stepfather 2. There's like Lord of the Flies. There's a couple movies from that era that I remember playing.
Oh wow, the Lord of the Flies.
Yeah, the 89 one. Yeah, Pet Sematary. I remember they these little, because as soon as it, after been back in the good old days when movies were in the theater for like 6 months at least, they would put it out on that pay-per-view first before we go to like HBO or the video and all that stuff. So I remember that was my first. So I don't know if I rented it off of that or if I just rented it VHS. I don't remember which one, but I remember liking it a lot. I just remember as a kid being a little confused by it because, again, now looking at it, I see why, because the story is a little disjointed and it's an editing / script thing. But all that being said, there are still things.
Old man like it then.
I like it, but I acknowledge it's probably a C&D kind of movie. Like it's not. I think to most people that watch it, if like for instance, my kids are actually very tolerant of some of the garbage I've shown them, but they didn't hate it, but it was like one of the first movies where I've shown them, they're like, like it just didn't work for them.
With them.
Yeah, it's like that. Like Dr. Giggles, they loved. They thought it was ridiculous, and they loved it. But this, and they liked aspects of it. But I think because it felt so kind of tonally all over the place, it just wasn't doesn't even
enough. It just
didn't connect. But I think that for most people, if you grew up with it, or if you saw it back in the day, I think you would you have a different level, and that's where C&D kicks in, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
But I still like it, and there's things about it, and I love Pileggi as Horace Pinker, which, by the way, I still to this day have such a hard time because I'm like, that's assistant director Skinner. It used to be the reverse.
That's all I see.
I told the kids, I was like, when I saw Shocker the first time, and then I saw X-Files, you know, because that came out a couple years afterwards, I remember being like confused. I'm like, that's Horace Pinker. I had the hardest time. Now it's the other way. Now it's the opposite. I'm like, why is assistant director Skinner being such a
Well, the
dick?
thing with Skinner is that he always had that sense of danger to him too.
Yeah,
right.
Which is funny. In real life, I get the vibe Pileggi's like the most chill dude.
Oh, sure.
You get those. It's always the guys who are like the most chill that are like the best.
They can, they have
violent.
that look that if you catch them on a bad day, or the wrong
Skinner would mess you up.
Yeah. He
and Horace Pinker. Definitely.
I don't know if Pileggi was like ever like a boxer or something. Like he just was the kind of guy that was like would have been an MMA fighter or something. Like he just looks like he has that edge to him. You're like,
he beat everybody's ass.
Yeah,
in this movie. There's never a time they needed special necklaces. They needed white women with glowing rays coming out of their chests.
Yes,
like to beat this guy. This guy whipped everybody. Ass through this movie.
Yep.
And even though they caught him at the TV, he's still there.
Yeah. So I will say it does hold up for me for what it is. It's not my favorite Craven movie by any stretch, but I do enjoy it. I'm not mad at Rick.
Why would you be mad at this?
I'm messing around. He knows I'm messing around. So I'm gonna go to Rick next because I think I know the answer to this. Rick, does this motion picture hold up for you?
It's always held up for me. So yeah. So.
And I did love the music too, by the way. We didn't really
unapologetically love this movie.
Yeah. Good. I mean, you shouldn't apologize. That's why I don't believe in guilty pleasures. I think that's bullshit.
Exactly. You like what you like.
Peter.
Yes.
I know you hated it for sure.
Always.
Every second of it. I just wished I never, ever, ever saw it again.
Yep.
Which is a blatant lie because I have so much. You just never
You're like the little girl. Did she spit on him? Like you.
Kicked him in the nuts. No, I have so much fun with this movie because again, you have to like it is like two different movies, and the start of the movie with him with that knife and he almost licked it at one point, and it's so dark, and then you go into kind of goofy territory with attacking chairs and little girls and lips and mouths coming out of TVs, but no, I had so much fun with this movie. So it holds up very much.
Daryl, the person who I would have wagered money. I'm glad I didn't. I would have wagered money that you would have.
Know.
Yeah, I never know
how I'm going to do it.
He's the Nubian spook.
No, I think it holds up. It's long.
It is long. It is long. Yeah.
I don't feel like they're going to stop him long like that. It's not long as in it's bad, but it's long as in he gets away with so much killing for so long. Yeah. Like there's no stopping him through most of this movie. And I think that adds to the sense of no one's safe.
Yeah.
And which is what you want your audience to feel in a horror movie. No one is, anybody can get it. Safe. And it was fun to kind of watch the characters do it. It wouldn't have worked if it wasn't for Pileggi being as good as he is at being bad, right? Mm-hmm. Like he is such a horrible person in this movie. And then I think part of the Peter Berg thing is that he just looked like just a regular dude, right?
Yeah.
Like he just was such a regular guy. I could see him coaching football, high school football, and that be his life, right?
Yeah.
Instead, he's got to, help try to take down a serial killer who's his daddy. Like it was fun to watch it. I think the father, if they cast a little bit better with the father,
John Saxon.
John, right? If only he could play the fathers in all the horror movies.
He should have.
In terms, he'd be great. But if it was, like the adopted father kind of thing, if he could have been just a little stronger actor. Not that the actor's bad, but I think it was just a wrong role for this.
I always wonder, was it that, or was it because I felt like he wasn't, like his performance wasn't bad to me. It was just felt out of place. So a lot of that could come down to how, and I mean, I realize I'm about to say heresy because the way he was directed implies Craven didn't direct him right. But what I'm saying is I feel like an actor sometimes, if they don't know what is expected of a scene,
or maybe they didn't have enough time. I think that could be too, because there wasn't a lot of time with the two of them.
Yeah, I just didn't get like a sense from him like, oh my God, he's horrible. It was more like he just felt weirdly out of place, like just the choices. It was just weird.
And I like Camille Cooper could have come off as just this cheesy Force ghost, right?
Yes, one of my kids called her that.
Well, sure, I mean,
Force ghost.
Yes.
But looking at her and how she
10 weeks is when how long it took to shoot this movie.
My God, I would love 10 weeks to shoot a movie. How about you, Rick?
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
Do that quick. But I liked her. Like I really did like her. I don't know what it was. It was just her talent in terms of how she played it. Like it didn't come off hokey. And I laugh at hokey shit. Like I had fun with that. I make fun of it all the time. But it didn't come off as hokey as I thought it would when I watched these scenes.
Yes, which is why when the chair scene happened, I thought, well, that's where they just lost Daryl.
But it held me enough.
Eyes.
Yeah.
But I get it. But I accept that there was some craziness in this, which I think was fun.
Yes.
None of it was bad. The crazy wasn't bad. The serious stuff wasn't bad either. It's just that it was just kind of the way that it was melded all together in this one movie.
Yeah,
probably was the thing that threw it off. But yes, I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the movie. I didn't realize I would enjoy it as much as I did, but it was. And I kept the subtibsubtitles on.
Just wait. Oh, Peter,
I know you're gonna fuck me up with
there's some coming that I would be willing to wager money.
Oh.
And then again, you never know, man.
I know. Coming. Fair enough. Fair enough.
You never know.
But having said that, I might put money on at least one of them.
At least one of them, yeah. So, Rick, are you pleasantly surprised? None of us crapped all over the movie?
Yeah, I'm very surprised, actually. Okay. I'm very happy about that. I actually kind of figured Peter wasn't going to say anything. I figured Daryl was 50-50. You, my friend, I don't know sometimes. It's so hard to say. Sometimes there's movies like, this is totally a Joel movie. I hated it. I'm like,
I know. I'm weird. Allison's made the same comment about Terror of the Tube. She's like, I don't know. Drew and I will sit around talking about, we don't know what the hell Joel's going to.
Yeah, you never know with you. You never know.
I know, but that's part of the fun.
But the other question after this, did you guys add the Shocker soundtrack to any of your playlists?
No, but I need to. I actually, now that you say that, I should have put it on my Spotify. Because now that he's legitimately.
I mean, it fits that era, that late 80s.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. It's like,
for sure.
So, I like the 80s cheesy rock. Although I will say, I do prefer the Cooper version of No More Mr. Nice Guy. I'm just going to say.
How dare you?
I know. I'm a purist.
Kind of do too, but
and then before we sail off into the sunset on this first official episode of Spooky Flix Fest 2025, Rick, would you like to tell the good folks, where they can find you on the interwebs, on the YouTubes, all that good stuff?
Yeah, you can read my column, Film Fury, over at Monster Kids Central, where I just did one on body horror after having a horrible week-long sickness. I started reflecting on that a little bit. Then we're on YouTube at Monster Kid Fury, which is a combination of Film Fury and Monster Kid Central. And then occasionally I get to come out with you gentlemen and talk.
Yes, indeed. Daryl.
You can go to Taylor Network of Podcast and check us out. We have Nothing's On, which is a TV and movie podcast, and we cover a lot of news, and then we kind of discuss it. It's me and comedian Donnie Salvo. We have a lot of fun with that. And also, if you're in the comics, we have you can go to the Gotham by Geeks feeds, and we have Gotham by Geeks, which is the Batman-centric podcast, and then we have DC All-Stars that shares the same feed, which is a DC Comics podcast, themed podcast. So we recently we ranked all of the live-action Superman films.
I'm looking forward to
that.
I got to listen to that.
Much like religion and politics, we will not talk about that on this.
And we went in raw and honest. You know, we don't hold back. You know how I am, Joe.
I know. I'd rather you be honest. Rick says he'd rather you be honest, even if you're wrong.
Yeah, well, even if
I want to get Daryl, you, and like 5 other people, because I got to figure out the attraction towards Superman. I gotta figure it out because
Rick, we greatly disappointed Rick, Daryl. But I'm not gonna lie, I thought I was gonna be a man on an island by myself. I came out of that movie with my kids, and we like loved a lot of it. And I thought, oh, Daryl hated it. I told my wife that, and my kids are like,
I thought I would too.
Uncle Daryl
hated he loved it. I was like, oh my god,
there's no way because I know how he feels about James Gunn movies.
Yeah,
he busts my balls so much for liking Guardians as much as I do. And yet here we are.
And Daryl, who's on that in a particular episode? Is you
for that one? We got Peter Rios and Hassan T, who's regulars. And we again. We're all me and Peter. Are the most like we don't give a fuck. We just go in, and
nice.
If it goes against what people like or like, we don't give a shit.
It's your opinion. You're entitled to it.
Peter Hassan is our Peter on that show. He is much more nicer than we are.
I like I'm typecast all over the planet.
Yeah.
Well, you are nice. It's not your fault. You can't help it.
Yeah.
Well, I try.
You can't help it. You have 80 kids. You can't help yourself.
Yeah.
It's the Swedish thing.
It's the Swedish thing. You get a holiday.
Wait for it.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna tell us he's not Swedish.
Get all them holidays over there and then Europe towns.
My God. Get like 80 weeks off a year. 80 weeks off a year. All right. Well, then obviously, Peter. Yeah, you.
Yes.
Where can you look? I'm pointing in the right direction.
Out there in your bread bacon.
They can find me here again, but mostly on Town the Tube with you and Allison talking about TV movies from the 70s, 80s.
Mostly we do like one a month, dude.
Yeah. So
well, it's more than what we do on this.
I know. We're doing this, and we get. Hey, I'm cramming it all. You get like a month plus straight of dealing with us.
Yeah.
And then you'll be reminded, oh, that's right.
That's why we don't do this.
That's what it is.
Or you think, man, I really miss being shit on this show. So
I know. I'm kind of ready to start recording again. I kind of am.
Yeah.
At least once a month.
Yeah, we probably could at least do
once.
Have
a list.
Yeah.
I know you used to be like the king of podcasts, Daryl. You had like 7 things going on all the time.
He's only got 6.5 now.
I'm shortening it down. I'm old. I need to streamline.
Mm-hmm. The knees and the back and the head.
Yeah.
Oh my God. All right. Well, anyway, I can be found right here at Mom and Pop Video Shop, as well as Tara. What this is also where you can find like old episodes of Retro Movie Geek and Tara on the Tube, and of course, Jay of the Dead's new horror movies. Jay of the Dead and crew might be contributing to this year.
They better.
They always.
Yeah. Jay would literally, I think, as nice as Peter is, Jay is even nicer if that's possible. And I'm pretty confident Jay would cut me.
He would explode if he wouldn't record anything for Spooky Flix Fest.
Yes. Yeah. But so be sure to join us for the next movie that Daryl has no idea what it is, but we have a fun guest for that. We have fun guests lined up for each of them, just like Rick is a fun guest. And I'm glad we didn't make him cry. Because if we had shit on this movie, he might be like, Night Riders, and now Shocker. Wait, there was another one too. Wasn't there another one you loved that we crapped on?
I'm sure we crapped on people's movies.
Okay, maybe just those two. Yeah.
But well.
Oh, anyway.
I still enjoy watching them though.
On that note, gents, any final words?
I was thinking about a quote, but I couldn't find any. So
how about no more Mr. Nice Guy?
That's too obvious, man.
That's why I did it.
Get all the spookiness you can handle this October by subscribing to Mom and Pop Video Shop on YouTube. You can also find Retro Movie Geek on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you dig up your podcasts. And remember, spooky is as spooky does.